These are the automatic guns in the finals. There's so many of them. It's visually hard to represent them on screen without making them very small. And with such a large catalog of guns, you'd think there's no way these are perfectly balanced. And you'd be right. There's no way to perfectly balance things, but I think the automatics in this game are overall pretty good. So today we're gonna go over why I think automatics in this game are balanced, what the method to the devs madness is, and just one minor complaint I have with just one of the weapons. But before that, if you like the video and want to help support the channel, subscribing is the best way to do so. I know that 300 subs might not seem like a lot, but compared to where this channel was just a couple weeks ago, I can't put into words how happy and overjoyed that I am that people loved the last video. So thank you so much, and now back to the video. So to start off, let's go over how the devs balance autos in this game. Looking at the data, I can see the vision here. This is something that I went over in the ARN video, but we'll go over it again, mainly because no one watched that video. And it is a very simple idea, but it is also very important. There is a trend between light, medium, and heavy autos in which the guns have a correlation between the gun's damage and their fire rate and recoil. Guns tend to either have high damage alongside a low fire rate and bad recoil, or they have low damage but they have a high fire rate and very good recoil. Now this correlation only works within the auto selection of each class. So for example, on medium, the AK has a higher fire rate compared to the FCAR and also has better recoil as well, while the FCAR does higher damage. So in this case, the AK is the high fire rate option and the FCAR is the high damage option. If you compare the AK to something not in the medium class like the M11, then we'd have a different story here. So that's why we're only doing this by class. And so the rule is basically, if it doesn't do enough damage per bullet, make it shoot faster and easier to aim. Like I said, pretty simple stuff here. Each class has their high damage option. Think the Shack, FCAR, or by default the ARN. They all have their high fire rate option as well. Think the minigun, AK, or the M11. And of course, there's guns like the Lewis gun that sits somewhere in the middle. Now, I say this is a trend only because of the recoil. Recoil is in the eye of the beholder, and I, for example, actually like the Shack's recoil a lot better than the Lewis gun. But by my own rule, I should like the Lewis gun's recoil more than the Shack's. Recoil aside though, this trend is very accurate, and I like this balance for two main reasons. I like how it balances the TTKs, and I like how it gives players more options. So we'll start with TTKs. I spent a very fun afternoon shooting test dummies with every auto, running the game at 60 frames per second, and then calculating some rough estimates for TTKs afterwards. Now I do say rough estimates because I count the frames, starting with the frame before I see any weapon plume, and after the last X on the kill marker is gone. And since I'm using 60 frames per second, even one frame off from a missed shot or body shot means I could have a difference of a couple hundredths of a second. That's why I did multiple takes with each gun and took my best time from each. And all this practice range footage that you're going to see, those are going to be what I used for the TTKs. So, auto TTKs, compared to other autos at least, tend to be pretty even across the board. The biggest difference I found was between the Lewis gun and the M11. So as you can see, I can get a kill on a light with the M11 in 43 frames, which is about 0.72 seconds, and with the Lewis in 47 frames, or about 0.78 seconds. The M11 can kill a medium in 59 frames, or 0.98 seconds, and with the Lewis, I got that same kill in 71 frames, or 1.18 seconds. And on heavy, the M11 got a kill in 74 frames, 1.2 seconds, and the Lewis did it in 91 frames, or 1.52 seconds. This means that the biggest difference in TTKs among autos is about 0.6 seconds in total. However, that is an extreme, and most other autos tend to stay in line with each other. I'll put my TTK table up on screen. It's not the most flashy thing, but I believe that it's pretty accurate to about 1 to 3 frames. And since we're looking for general trends and not nitpicking certain guns, I'm alright with that room for error. So as you can see, the autos tend to kill lights in that 0.7 second range. they kill mediums around 1 second, and heavies get a kill around 1.2 to 4 seconds. Since there's such a discrepancy in the heavy TTKs, it leads me to believe that they are more inaccurate, probably because it takes more time to kill them, and thus more mistakes are likely to happen. With that all being said, I think these numbers are pretty damn close. But I know what some of you are thinking. Lights aren't gonna just be killing other lights, and heavies aren't just gonna be killing other heavies. Those TTKs don't look fair, and you're right, but you are also wrong. Let's say you have two really good players, one light, one heavy, going up against each other with autos. On average, the light will get a kill in about, let's say, 1.3 seconds, and the heavy will get a kill in about, let's say, 0.7 seconds. The heavy's gonna win every time, obviously, but you're taking things way out of context here. Heavies are a lot bigger and a lot slower than lights. They are essentially the tank class, meaning that they should be harder to kill in general compared to lights. It's kind of the appeal of the whole class. While the light is a glass cannon, being very easy to kill is what puts them in their place so they don't become very annoying in the meta. And mediums are mediums. Since the devs balance the guns in a way that fire rate is inversely proportional to damage, it allows for the guns to be pretty even across the board, to a point where every auto, including the minigun, can be balanced, at least by TTK. This makes it so that neither high damage or high fire rate guns are dominant in the TTK department, which is good because it allows players to have choice in their autos. And I know what you're also thinking. Though there's 9 autos in the game, of course there's a lot of choices. It's not exactly what I mean. What I mean specifically is that players can choose between a high fire rate or high damage option on each class. Take me for example. I like the high fire rate weapons. I play M11 on light, I play AK on medium, I play M60 on heavy. I don't play minigun even though it's technically the high fire rate option. It's a little bit weird for my taste. I like it. It's still weird though. But if you like the high damage autos, you could play the ARN on light, the FCAR on medium, or the Shack on heavy. And on light and heavy, you can choose something in the middle, like the XP54, put an asterisk on that, asterisk. Yeah, I think I said that right. Or the Lewis gun. Your choice really boils down to, do I want to really focus on landing my shots for that high damage, or do I want to shoot really quickly? You know, like an automatic. There's nothing wrong with each option, it's just what you prefer. This video was originally going to be a ranking video. Part of the reason it took so long to make was because I rewrote it a couple times. But after doing my research, I figured out that I really should be praising the balance of these guns instead of ranking them. And I would not judge anyone for running any of the automatics in this game. Well, except for one. The XP54 has been through a lot. It was originally the light's high damage option for a while, till it wasn't. Yeah, the gun overperformed, and what the devs did to fix it was buffing the fire rate while nerfing the damage, bringing it more in line with the M11. Except it didn't. The gun was still overperforming, and in a recent balance update, and by recent I mean back in May, they simply nerfed the damage with no fire rate changes whatsoever. Since then, its damage has been the exact same as the M11's damage, with the only caveat being that it has a lower fire rate, making the gun's TTK absolutely terrible compared to the M11. And this is really my only complaint with the balance of these autos from these devs, at least in recent memory. Remember, these are the same devs who turned the Lewis gun into a pea shooter. I really want the XP54 to be more of a high damage, low fire rate option like it was before. Not as strong, obviously, because, you know, it was overperforming, but its current state, at least in my opinion, is too close to the M11 to even justify its existence right now. But besides that, I do like the recent changes. Let's call recent around Season 4 to now. I know that's not really recent, but I think it is kind of the turning around point. We got our sights, we got some really good recoil changes to the Lewis gun and M60. Those XP54 changes are in there somewhere, but we already addressed those. And I've also liked their new additions as well. The Shack was a gun that I was a little hesitant about at first, but over time it's grown on me, kind of in a Stockholm Syndrome kind of way. Don't worry about that. And the ARN is what I lean on when I'm playing M11, but I know I need some more range. I'll swap onto that and do a lot better. And the minigun is it's just plain fun. But what do you think? Do you like the current state of automatics in this game? Do you agree with my points? Let me know in the comment section down below. And hey, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. See you later.